So let's start. It's not a car. It's not an engineer fancy. It's a huge revolution, and we call it SDV. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Indar Bawi, director at PwC, and I'm thrilled to moderate this talk. Basically, SDV is, let's say, a game changer, a business model game changer, where value transitions from a product-based model to a service-based approach. How do automotive players reinvent themselves? Are they becoming service providers? Are they becoming ecosystem leaders or even integrators? How does the SDV reshape a long-established industry? Welcome, Grant. Just in time. We are just starting, no problem. So, talking about business model revolution, Dr. Stefan Polecka, so you are CEO and CTO at TT Tech, a middleware company recently acquired by NXP. What main business model evolutions can you see?
So, thank you very much. Glad to be here. I think that's a good time to reflect what are the really important things. And as you pointed out, I think SDV, or the software-defined vehicle, is probably the most or the biggest revolution that we see in the automotive industry. Because basically what we see is now that electronics and software are really becoming first-class citizens in the automotive industry. And that is basically because everybody expects from electronics the electronic experience in the car. It is not just IVI, automated driving functions. It's also about continuous updates, software refresh, that your car really stays up to date. And that means basically we are splitting the life cycle of the car into 2 or 3 different speeds, because we have the, let's say, classic speed of car acquisition, which is 7 years, 10 years, or something along that road. It's a very big, heavy physical item. Then we have the software updates, and the software updates have a total different life cycle. So you can do software updates on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. It's very clear that safety-related updates will require much more validation and be less frequent than infotainment updates, for example. But you have this fast update stream. And there might be even in the future a third update stream when you refresh certain hardware components to get more processing power, to get more speed, to get some advanced functions in the car. And what's happening right now on the business model side is basically that these different life cycles have different business models. So acquiring a car has a business model, but getting the software updates, software refresh, and even software functions that you didn't know when you acquired the car, that has also a total different business model. So we see subscription models or per-use models or time-bounded models. So all that is coming because we have these different life cycles in the car. And the second aspect I'd like to touch just briefly, it's not just on the outside what the customer sees, also the business models inside industry are going to change. We no longer have this hierarchical classical model. There's the OEM and he defines the requirements and then he purchases the ECU, which is basically electronics, architecture, software, and everything in a black box. So this is totally changing. So we are going to a value network where OEMs work with SoC and chip vendors, they work with software platform providers, they work with classical tier ones, they work with electronic manufacturing partners, because these electronic functions, the software platforms, the updates, and all of that are becoming really center stage. So also the internal business model changes, not just to component purchasing, but also to models like licensing software, royalty-based, distribution models, open source. So also that is in a radical change.
Trent Cassie, you are head of software product analytics at Stellantis Group. Would you care to comment?
Thank you very much for having me, and I apologize to everybody for my just-in-time arrival. Much like software will be now on connected vehicles. Just like you mentioned, the internal business models, I'd like to echo that. I was in a plant yesterday in Poland, and the time it takes to flash and test those ECUs impacts the time that a car is on the line. And so it's not, it's not just how the customer sees it. This is going to, this impacts every part of our production. And then for the customer, that's 7 to 10 year timeline, right? You have a vehicle for 7 years. You want it to be more capable than when you bought it. This is a totally new thing. What vehicle you ever bought could possibly have become more valuable while you owned it? Software-defined vehicles will do that, right? We can add new features. We can enhance the car's capability over that life cycle. I worked in gaming, and we'll see generations of ECUs in our vehicles, just like we have PS5 today, right? The hardware will take leaps and bounds, and in between we'll see cyclical, iterative improvements to your software experiences inside the vehicles.
A complete new experience, a complete new narrative, storytelling for sure, but are we sure that our clients are buying it? And are they really ready to pay? Mr. Corjon, Alexandre Corjon, you are SVP and Technical Fellow at Sonatus, a solution provider for SDV with a long track record in the automotive industry.
Not too long.
So what are for you the main monetization challenges?
I think I like the remark you make on, let's say, new business model, a new way of flashing the cars and how it impacts the development cycle. But I think today people are not ready to buy the technology by itself. I don't think, and I will give a counter-example afterwards, but I don't think that SDV inside is enough to increase the sales at Stellantis. But we need SDV to improve the car and to make what was promised since years with the connected services is really to go to a new experience for the user. What people are looking at is really to have a car which is cooperating with them, and that it's in some sense very easy to use. Today, and I will make a bit of advertising for Sonatus, I'm obliged to, we are asking and we are claiming that we need to provide a flexibility for the OEM, for also the supplier, to provide continuously new features that are really adapted to the need of the people. Today, we see that too often that the car are defined 3 years, 4 years in advance, with features that everyone is thinking are the right one at the time of SOP of the vehicle, but in fact it failed. It failed because the market has evolved much quicker, that people are experiencing in their life something which is much more, let's say, fast changing than what they find in the car. And in fact, for us at Sonatus, SDV should be a platform for innovation and should provide the enablers of enabling flexibility in adapting to the demand of the customer, flexibility of adding features, getting data from the car, and flexibility at the end to produce.
Thank you. Grant Cassie, what are your thoughts on this?
I completely agree. Like I mentioned, the car changing over time. We're moving from a place where our traditional OEMs would plan out software features while they're doing the vehicle design as well. And so we're talking like a 10-year from initial feature design until software features are live in vehicles and still in our main lineup, right? Being sold off of dealerships. And that's way too long. The market changes way faster than that. We've done studies on willingness to pay. There's some great data sets out there, surveys conducted by a couple of our partners. And yeah, I think the people, what OEMs thought our customers were going to pay for is not what they're going to pay for now. And this is going to evolve very quickly. And so all of the OEMs need to focus on that platform. How do we enable ourselves to make the features that are valuable when they're valuable, not try to predict it 5 years in advance? Because we'll be wrong. And we need to be able to iterate, launch an MVP with the product launch, right? When the vehicle goes to the dealership floor, it's got to be nice. It's got to work. Is that the time to monetize? And I think this goes back to the business model change, right? Will we be able to get customers so involved with their car that, hey, when we launch something really new, really innovative, 3 years after you bought it, that you might pay for something new? I think, I mean, my experience definitely informs my point of view. You know, working in video games, it was live operations of video games is a constant production cycle. More content, more content, more content, right? The design of the game is to keep people engaged. And then the monetization, you know, in all our free-to-play games is based on a content pipeline. So how much content can we get out there that our customers desire? And I think we might see a shift personally, I think we'll see a shift in what are the things that we're offering for sale. It might not be ADAS, you know, automated driving features. It might not be more convenience features. I think customers probably mostly expect that to be included with their car. But some really innovative things on safety or knowing your vehicle is cared for properly. I think those are the areas where we might be able to add new feature value. And then, just like video games, cosmetics, people out there in games today pay to look cool.
Rachel Forestier, you are a group product marketing director for SDV at Valeo. And talking about product life cycle evolution, you like to say that it's mainly a question of shift in mindsets. What's in your mind?
Yes, indeed. So first, I would like to highlight that with the SDV, the car is turning to a dynamic platform with over-the-air updates and hardware decoupled from software. So it allows really improvement of features like, let's say, automatic parking being quicker, or adding some additional features like enhancing lighting for rural unknown roads. So we are at the forefront of this revolution. We are providing the complete set of solutions to address this change. So we are offering sensors, computing units, hosting the software. We are offering middleware and frameworks to decouple from the underlying hardware, as well as we are offering different applications in the complete expertise field of Valeo. So what are these kind of features? It's, for instance, thermal management in order to make sure that your battery life is getting longer on the hybrid or electric car. It's about automated parking to make more convenient for the end user, or it's about automated driving to make the road safer. So this revolution is really a mindset changer, because we believe the car needs to be upgraded while keeping the car affordable. So we at Valeo, we believe that scalable by design is essential to make the car upgradable, still keeping it affordable.
Yeah, we see a lot of complexity eventually in all that. Alexandre Corjon, can we say that there are new development methods? What
Yes.
about AI? And are we already, have we already entered the AI-defined vehicle?
I think I like what you say. In fact, we need to have platforms, and SDV is a platform for innovation, for sure. And the most tools that we'll have to use in the next years is really the artificial intelligence. So I think we were talking about flexibility before. And for me, there is two other words that are very important for SDV, is the upgradability and the intelligent part. For upgradability is the fact that we need to know what people are using in the car, to know what is the demand, and then securing there is continuous update of the vehicle. So we are splitting software and hardware more and more. But at the same time, I think we need to envisage from the development cycle to have a split between what we are developing in the cloud and what is already embedded inside the car. So we can also manage different life cycle in terms of development and being quicker to test what could fit to the customer and what will be really implemented afterward and offered. When I'm looking for the OTA that we are talking about, today we have supported a study on SDV for SDV survey 2025. There is only 21% of the cars that are updated regularly. Even so, people are aiming at going to up to 64 or more updates because there is a lack of content. And so it's why, for me, intelligence, the last word I want to insist on, is thanks to AI. So AI is in autonomous driving, in ADAS, in the infotainment side as well. But we are convinced that AI, thanks to SDV, can enter more deeply inside the car so that people can feel a car which is more optimized, more corresponding to what they are expecting in terms of behavior, in terms of understanding, and also working on the simplification. Because I'm totally convinced that people need to have cars that are simple to use, that you don't need 30 minutes. So I think there are many people traveling regularly, and when you go to a rental car, which is not your normal car, sometimes it's complex to connect your phone, sometimes it's complex to know where are the basic commands, and it's something like that that we need to deploy. So what we want to do is really to enable inside the vehicle, at platform level, the capacity to use any type of AI model. And what is very important for us is to enable that we can deploy at any scale, meaning that you can test for 1 user, for 100 users. At the same time, you can also specialize a full deployment for a region of the SDV. And I think we need to all work together in the sense that we need to be the OEM, the supplier, and let's say techno company like us, working to put the basis inside the vehicle, and after being able to upgrade on the fly without many software updates, which are also a complexity to manage.
Rachel, a quick comment?
Yes, thank you. So basically, for Valeo, AI it's not new. So really, it's a hot topic, and it's a hot topic of this show. So as mentioned by Alexandre, yes, for sure, we are integrating into our products, especially the sensors, because Valeo is a leader in terms of perception sensors and software. So we integrated first 22 years ago, and now it's encapsulated in all our intelligence system, from rear view system to front camera system for different features, enabling more safety. But it's not the only thing. So for sure, we are moving into a transformation. So we do have a Valeo AI, which is a research team, about 200 people working on making this happen together with world-class academics. As well, we do have a transformation program in order to make sure that our engineers are having all the tools required to match this revolution.
Thank you. And now we are coming to the heart of the matter, the human factor. Sabine Calvo, you are VP Engineering, Transformation and Global Resources at Renault Group. What major cultural and human resources evolution do you observe?
Yeah, you see that when we speak about SDV, we go directly to tech. But my strong belief is that the real disruption is not tech. Of course, that's key. But the real disruption is human. It's cultural. It goes directly to the heart of how we work, how we think, and also how we learn. And we have to admit that engineering in most of our traditional car companies are still shaped by the culture of the product excellence. We develop for 10, 15 years of robustness, implying a long cycle of validation driven by many processes, sequential processes. But software, that's completely different. It lives in a completely different pace. So that makes that we have to completely reshape. Our engineer must start to think like software developers. They have to start thinking, accepting uncertainties, accepting failures. So that's completely different. So I would say that SDV is really flipping the model. We've moved from a model where we first build, then we deliver, to a model where we deliver, then we learn. So think about the disruption that we have to make happen in our mindset. So that's completely different. And I would say that now we need to focus more on user experience than in the specifications. Let's say the rigor is not more focused on the product reliability, the mechanical reliability, but more on the discipline in the iteration. So that's completely different. And I would say that I believe that one of the keys, this is to move from a siloed culture to a culture of collaboration and openness, meaning that time is over when each expertise can work in perfect isolation. Now we need to break down the silos. We need to put all the areas of expertise together to foster innovation, to accelerate our processes, to solve really complex problems. And this is not only technical expertise that we need to make together. This is also break down the silos across functions, put design, production, marketing together, internal skills, but also partners such as startups, research centers. So that's completely reshaped the model. Yeah. The second key, I would say that this is adopt what we call commonly a growth mindset, a mindset of
30 seconds.
Continuous learning. Sorry?
30 seconds.
Yeah. Continuous learning and experimentation. So here again, that's completely different of what we experiment today. So we need to let's say encourage experimentation, to accept failure, to be able to collaborate across silos. So to be in test and learn approach. So completely different. And last key for me, this is to develop a sense of agility and autonomy. So very important that engineering work in agile teams, making let's say to be able to make decision really fast, to be able to adapt and change priorities if necessary. So that means that we need empowered employees.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's really key to completely reshape the model.
Thank you very much. I hear that we have to go to the Q&A session. So we understand that this is a whole new world with new mindsets, new methodologies, a complete new business model, a new way to look at product life cycle, to look at this thing, which is much more than a car. And now let's move to the Q&A session. Thank you. The floor is yours. Who wants to start?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you to all of you. I have a question actually for Grant. You mentioned the tie to gaming, which I find very interesting, as we see the potential for the car to become a bit of a gaming station as well. But a car lasts longer than a PS2, PS3, PS4. How do you envisage having the compute power that we need in 5 to 10 years and have an affordable car to sell at the beginning of it? So if we put too much headroom on compute, it's going to be unaffordable. If we don't put enough, we won't have room for the applications in the future.
Grant, please, short answer.
Very, very good question. And one of the main challenges for automotives to figure out, absolutely. I think console life cycles can go at least 5 years these days, so it's not far off. But what it is resource management, right? If we want to add something new, we probably need to take something out once we get to that end of that life cycle. And I'll probably just, it's a very big challenge though, absolutely.
Another question? Please, short questions and short answers.
Yes, if I'm speaking, great again to hear from you about the disrupting, but what about cybersecurity and safety in AI? Because something which is, let me say, very important for automotive.
Well, I can make a very short comment, if I may. So first of all, I'd like to point out this is really, really important. And I think to a certain extent, SDV is a little bit a misnomer and should be for SDV because it's really about safety, about security, software, and the systems approach, because it's not just software alone. On the AI side of things, it's clearly about diversity and redundancy. A single model won't get you to the necessary level of confidence, of safety. It's not going to happen. So you need to have alternative approaches.
Another question?
Can you come here, please?
Thank you. For the development of this SDV, are you prepared to share value with platform from technology platform like Qualcomm? How you will manage that to share the value? Because for the software development, you need more platform software provider that can manage all this development. How you will manage to share the value?
I will take it. I think for me, we need to consider that to achieve SDV, you need many skills, you need many different types of technology, and I'm considering that no one has the ability to deliver everything. So we need really to build a strong ecosystem and focusing each of us on what we really, where we bring and add the most value. So today, on our side at Sonatus, we have a quite limited portfolio, but we know that we are able to continuously innovate on it and to prepare the future and support the other. And in some sense, on other topics, we can go to other players as well. For sure, it's supported by Qualcomm, by NXP, by other actors. But most of the time, they are also conscious of where they have to stop and not trying to do everything by themselves, because at the end, you kill the innovation and the opportunity to do something different.
Yeah, maybe I fully agree with Alexandre. So we are working by value with all the players, from the chip makers like Qualcomm, Mobileye, but as well with the tech giants. And this is the ecosystem of partners with which you need to align and find the best value for the end customer, for the customer and the end customers. So it's really alignments matter.
Last question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, you mentioned the human factor as a problem in the whole shebang, so to say. But and when moving forward with software-defined vehicles, and we can see that 92% of all vehicles on the road are behind on the maintenance schedule. How does that affect liability moving forward? Where is the liability? Is it with the manufacturer of the said software, or is it with the owner? And how do we fix that?
I will dare to take it. I think very complex question. Thanks for asking. You're right, but I think at the same time, when we see what is able to do AI, I'm convinced there is two aspects. First, to be sure that people are aware the reason of the maintenance. I have a very personal case where my car is telling me that I need to go to the maintenance in 1,000 kilometers and so on. But I just bought the car as a used car. It had been revised, totally rechecked 3 months ago. So I don't need that. So in fact, the indication in the car sometimes is lacking of relevance to the customer. At the same time, it's the affordability of the servicing. Today, servicing is very expensive for most of the people. So if you have a car company, that's perfect. You can go easily to make the normal visit. But when you are, let's say, a more individual owner of a car, it's becoming very expensive. So I think we need to work on both aspects. We can improve largely all what is predictive maintenance, being more, let's say, taking care of what is the user is feeling or experiencing in the car. But we need also to work on what is the cost of the servicing.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all these great insights. It's time to close now the talk. I wish you to all in this revolution the courage and inspiration to reinvent yourselves with both hope and determination. On behalf of the PwC team, I'd like to thank you warmly. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for your attention, and have a great